let's discuss some trades we wish we had seen. Wilson, a trade you would have liked to see is?
So the Bills signed Leonard Fournette to the practice squad, which is a sentence I never thought I'd say out loud, but here we are. I wish they would have signed Derrick Henry. If you're going to go all in on the run game.
Traded for him, yeah.
Go all in on the run game. You have James Cook there. He's not an every down back. Actually, Derrick Henry's probably the only every down back left, it sort of feels like. Get him into that offense. Take some of the pressure off Josh Allen, although people keep saying Josh Allen, gets his juices flowing once he gets popped. I would like him not to get popped so often. And I think that helps with getting Derrick Henry, get him out of Tennessee. He's not going to be in Tennessee after the end of the year anyway. That would have been fun. That would have perhaps, you're not going to scare Mike McDaniel. He doesn't scare easily, Breach, but at least giving them pause to know that the Bills are not just sitting on their laurels, or at least sitting in their hands, probably is a better way to say it, and just going to try to take the Dolphins on Josh Allen at a time.
Wilson, what would you have given up for Derrick Henry?
Like, you probably have to overpay like a third. I would have preferred to go day 3, but I think if you offer Rand Carthon a third, why wouldn't you? Because you're not going to re-sign him.
I think I don't disagree with you in terms of like what I would like to give up for Derrick Henry. My guess is that with Carthon coming in the way he did and John Robinson basically getting fired the second that A.J. Brown torched the Titans because he traded him and Mike Vrabel wasn't happy, that Mike Vrabel has a lot of say in who would be getting dealt on this team. I also think I heard like Amy Adams Strunk got involved. It was like not willing to trade Derrick Henry maybe. Regardless, I would guess that Mike Vrabel is like trying to toe the line here a little bit on like they trade, Tannehill gets hurt, they trade Kevin Byard, and then Levis looks awesome. They're like, oopsie. And that he probably would have wanted at least a second round pick for Derrick Henry. I don't get me wrong. I think that would have been an overpay, but I think they just wanted too much for Henry, knowing he can do what he can do in that run game for that team and for that offense. I'll throw mine out too, since it involves Derrick Henry. I would like Derrick Henry to go to the Ravens. Like Baltimore has Gus Edwards, Gus Bus. You got Justice Hill. Those guys, they're nice. But imagine running the friggin' read option with Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry. Imagine trying to stop Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry in that offense. I would have loved to have seen it. Same reasons as we want to see him on the Bills. It'd be fun. Take the pressure off the quarterback. Contender. Derrick Henry in the playoffs with the freaking Ravens with the lead. Good night. Breach, what about you?
I'll stay in the AFC North. I would have liked to see my Cincinnati Bengals. I should have worn that helmet for Halloween. Go out and get a tight end. I think if there's one weakness with that offense right now, they were hoping that Irv Smith would fill that. He just has not. Bengals should have called up and brought back their old buddy Hayden Hurst, who was so big for that offense last year. I wish he was still on the team. If they had called around, you could have checked in on Hayden Hurst, Mo Cox. Maybe the Cardinals would have just done a fire sale, got rid of Zach Ertz at a very, very, very low price. So the Bengals adding a tight end would have been nice, but it did not happen.
The weird thing is Hayden Hurst has been terrible for the Panthers. He's even talked about it, but it's only Adam Thielen there. Irv Smith has been terribler for the Bengals somehow. So I actually don't hate that, even though Hayden Hurst hasn't played well for Carolina.
Yeah.
Different offense.
Don't mind that at all. Breach, is there a trade that you would have liked one of the Bengals division opponents to make?
Let's stay in the AFC North, Brenton. I would have found it amusing and also fascinating and added some drama if the Browns had traded for a quarterback. I mean, there was definitely, hey, look, some speculation they might go out and try and get Jacoby Brissett. And could you imagine if that would have happened? You have a quarterback with a fully guaranteed $230 million contract on the bench, and you go out and trade for the guy who used to be your starter before Deshaun Watson got. I mean, it would have just been totally bonkers. But if the Browns don't know what the deal is with Watson's shoulder and how soon he can get back, I don't think trading for a quarterback would have been a horrible idea. And Brissett would have made the most sense since he was familiar with the system. But they did not do it. So it's PJ Walker or bust until Watson gets back.
I'm going to double down, Breach. I should have brought back Jacoby, Colt McCoy, Brian Hoyer, Brady Quinn. Just go down the list. Bring them all back and find one.
Johnny Manziel.
Yeah.
Johnny Football.
Yes. That would have been a bigger deal than your hypothetical Cowboys trade, Wilson. This is, I can't believe that you came up with this and not Breach. This is like I'm surprised. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if Breach wrote an article about the fake trade that you would have liked to seen happen that you were about to propose.
He was probably whispering in my ears. I was sleeping last night when he stuck into my hotel room.
With the headline, Cowboys make blockbuster trade for Aaron Donald, calling why this didn't happen.
Yeah, that's right. That's how you have to write it up. But imagine that, right? So Dan Quinn gets one of the best players on planet Earth. This defense somehow gets more incredible, and you're going to give a first-round pick, and you don't care about it. Like, you feel good about that, even though Aaron Donald, maybe he's only going to play for 2 or 3 more years. I don't care. If he plays for 2 more years, you give a first-round pick and you win the Super Bowl this year, no one is saying anything. You're taking the old less need, forget them picks approach. It might cost more than a first-round pick if that conversation were ever had. So maybe that's what threw a monkey wrench in the plans. But I just love the thought of Dan Quinn getting his hands on someone as disruptive as Aaron Donald when Dan Quinn is already about being disruptive with that defense. They get after it on the front end, and then everyone gets interceptions, starting with Teron Bland on the back end. So, yeah, that would have been fun.
What was the Calvin Johnson story you wrote that was like the most misleading headline of all time? And it made me
Calvin
mad.
Johnson dyes his hair.
Oh, it was. It was like Calvin Johnson was dying.
It was about retirement. I can't remember.
Yeah,
it wasn't
even.
No, it was ex-Lions receiver tells Calvin Johnson to unretire. And most people just kind of didn't read the tells part. So it read as Calvin Johnson's going to unretire.
Yeah, that's how I read it.
Yeah, there was something shady about it there.
And I read it that way because that's how Breach wrote it before he went back in and changed it.
I think you did. You think you did change something on him.